Hi, welcome to Witchfinger Productions. This is Who's Sprues, where we compare different plastic kits for building your armies. Today we're looking at skeletons. I love skeletons, they're one of my favourite subjects to paint and see on the tabletop, and boneheads like me are spoiled for choice with the plastic kits on the market. We're going to compare the options each kit has, their pros and cons, and their price per model. Let's see how to get the most bone for your buck. The first kit we're looking at here are Games Workshop Skeleton Warriors. These guys come 36 to a box for $90. That's $2.50 per model. Inside you get the classic skeleton sprue that used to be used for vampire counts. You get 4 skeleton bodies, legs, and left arms per sprue, 4 melee weapons, and 4 spears. You also have 6 head options, 7 if you don't mind using a cow skull. The other sprue comes with 6 Tomb King themed heads, 10 shields, 8 bow arms and quivers, and full command options with champion weapons, musician, and banner poles, including a couple of banner toppers. This is an old school kit going back to 2000, with this Tomb King's command sprue added in 2004 for their general release. I would say that in general, it's showing its age in terms of style. These are some chunky skeletons with big hands and heads and details, but for old Hammer fans like me, these have a lot of charm and a lot of kit bashing potential. At $250 per mini, they're one of the more expensive options as well. They're not a bad option, but probably not the best choice if you're on a budget. Next up, we have the Warlord Games Skeleton Warriors from their Warlords of Erewhon range. In this set, you get 24 skeletons for $35, which is $1.46 per mini. Per sprue, you get 6 bodies, legs, and feet, 8 left and right arms, and 10 heads. You have options for spears, swords, shields, and bows, which come in a couple of different styles each, all with a bit of a Bronze Age Greek theme. It comes with 6 bases on the sprue, which, in my eyes, is a bit of a waste of space. They could have easily fit a few more different parts on here. You can either kit out every model with a sword and spear, or 3 of them with bows, so you can't do a full archer regiment out of this one box, but you can go all swords or all spears if you'd like. This kit is a bit infamous for its assembly. These parts are very small and very realistically scaled for human skeletons, which means gluing them together can be a little fiddly. I'd recommend super glue or other glue that sets fast. The skeletons are also completely bare boned in the literal sense. They have no clothing or armor of any kind, except for one head, which has a hoplite style helmet. Their hands are empty too, with you having to glue the weapons in place. This can be a con if you want some armored infantry, but it also makes the kit very, very versatile. Not just for skeleton players, but as basic materials. These skeletons work great as actual dead skeletons. The heads are very clearly inspired by Ray Harryhausen's stop-motion work on Jason the Argonaut, with a bit of a skeletal scowl going on. For me, that's a con. I prefer blank expressionless skulls, but for the Harryhausen fans out there, these skulls nail that look perfectly. These are a solid, versatile choice, with a good price per model that's only let down by being a smidge fiddly to put together and lacking in command options. Their scale and style is also quite specific, and there may be issues mixing them in with other kits. Next up, we have the Oathmark Skeleton Infantry box from North Star. These guys come 32 a box for $35 USD, which is $1.17 per mini. Per sprue, you get 5 bodies, 5 shields, 5 sets of bow arms, 5 shield arms, 6 melee weapons, 6 spears, an extra long spear with optional crossbar to attach a banner to, and 11 heads, 6 helmeted and 5 unhelmeted. The armor and weapon style is generic with a lean towards ancient, with leaf-shaped swords and spears. They look very Bronze Age, but not specifically any particular culture, which I think is perfect for a legion of ancient, reanimated bones. There's not much to say about the Oathmark set because it's just so damn good for army building, the only weaknesses being a lack of a musician option, and maybe lacking in ways to make a distinct champion model. The details are also a little bit soft, especially compared to Games Workshop, and these guys are perfectly scaled to have their heads replaced with Citadel skulls if you want that different look. Overall, I would describe this as the most efficient skeleton kit on the market. It gives you almost everything you need for most game systems at a price point that can't be beat. Now we have the Mantic Kings of War Undead Skeletons. These guys come 22 a box for $50, which is $2.50 per model. But you can also get a box of 40 for $65, which comes out to a much better $1.65 per model. These guys come 10 to a sprue with 10 sets of legs and 10 torsos. Some of them have pegs to slot in the torso and can be fit together without any glue. 3 of them come with melee weapons already molded on, but the rest have empty hands that you can slot one of the 7 spears or 8 swords into. You also get some extra heads for the 4 headless torsos, 4 altogether, a grave and some fallen bones for basing, a skeleton erupting out of the ground, and even a little skeletal dog or giant rat. The command sprue is mostly the same, 10 bodies, 10 torsos, but instead of the extra rat and basing elements, you get some alternative heads and command options, like a banner pole, musician options, and some champion equipment like a cloak. There's even an empty hood if you wanted to take one of your guys and make them into a wraith of some kind. This is an interesting set. It seems a bit limited because of how it's put together, but there's some quite nice sculpting here, and you can very quickly get a good looking horde assembled and ready to paint. The extra bits like the tombstone, the giant rat, and the skeleton bursting out from below are really cool. For me, the biggest downside to these guys is their art style. They have a very Army of Darkness style to them with very stylized angry skulls. If you like that, your pulp fantasy or slightly goofy vibe, then these are perfect. But if you're like me and you like your skeletons to have a little more haunting look, it's very easy to cut off their heads and replace them with some Citadel skulls. I think they look just great. This is another good option if you want a lot of basic, scrappily armored skeletons. After that, we have the Wargames Atlantic Skeleton Warrior set. These are from their classic fantasy line, and they come 32 to a box for $40, $1.25 per model. These guys come with 4 bodies per sprue, with 1 body having each leg separate. You get 3 spear arms, a kukri arm, a musician option, a long pike, a bow arm, 4 left arms, and a cow skull, which could be used as a banner topper. There are 5 heads, 1 helmeted with a big Greek-style crest, and 4 shields with 3 different designs. This is kind of an odd box with a diverse but numerically limited options. You can't make a whole regiment of bows or swords, but you can outfit everyone with spears. The body without legs attached is a bit awkward to assemble, but does offer more posing options such as mounted on a steed of some kind. The Greek style is a bit inescapable here, even stronger than the Warlord Games set, and these are big skeletons, very chunky boys, especially around the legs. They're actually quite a match for the old Games Workshop skeletons, but the details are much sharper. Overall, I'm not sure I'd recommend this set over any of the others here alone, unless you really like the Greek styling. They don't do anything better overall in my eyes, although arguably their bigger scale makes them easier to paint than Warlord skeletons, and they're definitely easier to put together. These also combo really well with Wargames Atlantic's other skeleton sets, like their chariots, so that's worth considering if you're doing some army building. Last up, we have something a little bit different and a little bit special. This is the 7th edition Warhammer Fantasy Battle Vampire Count Skeleton Regiment. This box is now out of production, but it's a classic that's worth a look at here. Across 2 sprues, you have 10 sets of legs, 11 torsos, 12 different spears, 30 melee weapons, 10 left arms, 17 shields, and a whopping 25 heads. There's a musician and banner option, and armor for the champion. Now this may not be the kit with the most flexibility or variety, and in terms of efficient army building, it's definitely down there, even while it was still in production. But what this kit offers is character and style. The aesthetic of these skeletons, in my humble opinion, simply can't be beat. The skeletons and skulls are in various states of decay and damage, there's tattered scraps of cloth and chainmail fluttering from spear poles and bodies, and the helmets have this wonderful out-of-time aesthetic. If you're making a skeleton army, and you happen across one of these boxes, I'd highly recommend snapping it up. You will use every single part from it across your troops. So that's my look at the various skeleton options available on the market today. They all have their pros and cons, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on which set is your favourite down in the comments. If there's another range of minis you'd like to see compared, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, make stuff, and inspire others.